Hello, and welcome to First Geek 411's Haunted Book Club. Tonight, we will be talking about Midnight at the Barclay Hotel. I was going to hold up my book and then realized I don't have to.
It's on the
Is it
screen.
this way?
No, the other way.
Oh, no, the other
Other
way.
side.
Ta-da!
Got it.
It's 50-50. Before we get into that, you can find us at all the social medias. One Geek 411 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Come chat with us at our Discord server or shoot us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Check out the show notes on our website at onegeek411.com and watch our regular podcast on Twitch every Monday night at 6:45 Mountain Time, and find all of our videos on YouTube. Rate and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our cool merch at the Redbubble store. Hi, I'm Shanine, and with me is Chris.
Hello.
How's it going?
I am good. I'm excited to talk about this book, mostly. Yeah.
Yay. All right. Cameron was abducted by ghosts, and Emma is trapped in a haunted house tonight, so they will not be joining us. But we do have some thoughts from Cameron, and I'm sure Emma will be sharing some in the Discord later. So here is a quick synopsis. I either could have said very little or explained absolutely everything, and I have gone with the second option. So
quick
here's what the book
synopsis
is about.
I'm going to read you the book right now because it's that quick of a read.
Here we go. All right. Well, JJ loves ghost hunting, and when his mom, the CEO of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich business, receives an invitation to a weekend away at a local haunted hotel, he begs her to take him. Only a few others have been invited: a librarian, an actress, a cowboy, and a detective. Everyone arrives at the hotel, and it is soon revealed that they have been brought there to solve the mystery of Mr. Barclay's murder, and they're all suspects, except for the detective, who they're hoping will solve the case.
And the children.
Getting there. JJ and the detective's granddaughter Penny are caught up in two investigations, solving the murder and proving whether or not ghosts exist. They team up with Emma, the chef's niece, to solve the murder. The murder case is complicated and not what it seems, as the kids attempt to unravel the clues, and the proof of a haunting at the hotel grows stronger as more ghostly activity seems to happen. Tensions rise as the kids only have a couple days to reveal everyone's secrets and uncover the truth of the Barclay Hotel. Dun dun dun.
Nailed it.
All right. First impressions.
Be brief.
Be brief.
First impressions, definitely a middle schooler book. But nice, simple, whodunit, enjoy. It was fun.
Agreed. I think it was just a really nice brain break after Dune. And
everything else I've read this month.
yeah. And it was a little spooky and really fun. That's really all I wanted. So
predictable. Mostly.
We'll get to that. All right, and here are some thoughts from Cameron. Spoiler alert. Cameron says, overall, I really liked this. I definitely left wanting to read a book by this author should they ever write a mystery novel aimed at adults, where some of the clues don't need to be as obvious. I liked the twist of ghosts being real, but the characters not seeing it because they weren't expecting to. I wish we got a little more from the suspects, but it is fine. I like the pace of the book as well. Unlike a certain other book aimed at kids, this one didn't overstay its welcome.
Yes.
All right. So, as we have mentioned, this is a middle grade novel. Those middle school years.
or late
When
elementary school,
late
depending.
elementary, yeah,
Like I could see myself reading this in like fourth grade.
younger. I think it's like 8 to 12 or something
8 to
is the
12
like ideal age.
makes sense. I don't know how books are graded. I don't know what middle grade means.
Middle, not
Yeah.
children's, not young adults, middle.
So that's a big range though. That's middle.
So, when was the last time that you read a middle grade novel?
Elementary school for sure. Like before I read Lord of the Rings. um yeah. I'm gonna go with that. It's probably just because I was trying to get accelerated reader points.
I think for me, yeah, it kind of depends how exactly we're classifying middle grade. Because, like, what would the Chronicles of Narnia be? That seems like about the same level.
But also like yeah, I mean like I would assume because that's the audience, the target audience is definitely that, but maybe like definitions have changed too. Like
Yeah.
Chronicles of Narnia is a pretty complex read for the most part. Like far more than this for sure. Um, more in depth, I guess. But then again, Chronicles of Narnia is also a series, so I don't know. I don't know. Like I guess I'd put this alongside, yeah, probably with Chronicles of Narnia and The Hobbit itself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So, yeah, if we're going that, it's
Definitions are
been
hard.
very
Okay.
recent for me.
I guess then, yeah, like if that's the case, then like I did recently do The Hobbit, and granted, it was the audiobook, but I read along in a regular book too. I don't know. Hobbit's simple. Sure. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. And I've always just kind of read what I want. Like, I don't really super care what level it is. And there's like the series, The Royal Diaries, which was like the diary of like a real life princess. So it like a historical fiction for kids.
Oh.
Those were really fun. And I read them probably past the target age.
Again, also I would say like this is like I'll also say like a lot of young adult books anymore very like aren't much beyond this level. They just deal with more mature themes. Maybe
Yeah.
like they include more mature acts is what makes them young adult more than like complexity. I don't know. You're the reader, Shanine. You define these things for us.
I don't know. I'm not a professional.
Yet.
Can you be a professional reader?
I mean librarians.
That's true.
And you're the closest we got, you're a writer, so
I try. Okay. So, how does Midnight at the Barclay Hotel compare to similar books you've read, whether it be middle grade or mysteries or ghost stories or whatever?
takes me back to the Hardy Boys, I guess. But Hardy Boys is definitely a lot more in depth, like a little more complex. As Cameron's saying, like you know, a little less obvious, I guess, but also different era. Um, I don't know. I'm not a big mystery uh, or thriller reader. Um, so yeah, that's about probably the closest line I can draw because fits in that niche.
Yeah.
Or
I
watching Scooby
don't
Doo. I don't know.
does kind of feel like Scooby Doo.
There are definitely elements where like this would be a Scooby Doo plot. Like I mean that's the entire premise of the mystery team. You know, they're exploring a haunting, but it turns out to be a murder mystery. Okay, or a robbery, I guess. I don't know. Just crime. Although ghosts were never real, and well, with the exception of live action.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, I don't read a lot of mysteries either, so I can't really compare to that. As for ghost stories, I feel like maybe I recently read a graphic novel called Archival Quality, and it was ghosty, bit more spooky than this one, but kind of a similar quirky feel to it. And then, other than that, um, when Cameron and I were playing Phasmophobia on Tuesday, when we got off, he said he was going to go finish reading Midnight at the Barclay Hotel. And I went to go read The Haunting of Hill House. So,
Nice. Yeah, I definitely want
not the
like
same at
if I
all.
am gonna read something, like I want all the spooks. Then again, also I feel like spooky is better to the on the screen or with graphics at times. Maybe I want some jump scares. Okay, it's hard to do that on when you're reading.
Yeah, reading still gives me lots of spooks though. That's I want to watch the Netflix show of it, so that's why I'm reading it first so that the show won't scare me as bad.
Like, yeah, I would be right there with you for the most part. Yeah, like okay, so like reading spooky will probably be more likely to give me nightmares than watching like a scary movie because when I'm done watching a scary movie, I just like visuals gone, it's all gone. We're good. I'm going to bed. Whereas like reading, like my imagination takes over. It's like there's something under your bed. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I kind of feel like I'm better able to handle it when I'm reading it, but then I still get freaked out in the middle of the night waking up in the dark. So maybe not. Spooky is spooky.
Yeah.
That's all.
We need all the spooks.
All right. So there were a few shocking reveals in Midnight at the Barclay Hotel. Did you see them all coming?
Mostly yes. I mean, like I wasn't like 100% correct on them, but like just kind of my analysis, like as I was reading through and like things were happening, I'm like, hmm. And then there's just some obvious things. It's like, well, the narrator's really trying hard to like make me not come to that conclusion at times. Specifically with Emma, it's like whenever she's around, like there's certain things, but then like with when it's specifically following Emma, the narrator tries to really make it feel like she's human. Like to the point that it's inconsistent. And then also just like the entire premise is like Barclay's not dead. That's one of the big reveals. I'm like this like the whole setup for this just doesn't make sense. Like and like all the language that I just thought he was like he put together a game for these people that he had recent interactions with. And he's like in behind the scenes pulling. I didn't think he was actually in. I didn't think he was gonna be in disguise. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay, okay. I just thought like the haunted, like the Scooby Doo thing. I thought he was gonna be the the ghost. that's not dead.
Yeah, I was so casual about reading the book that most of the reveals I didn't see coming just because I wasn't thinking about it and I was just along for the ride. But the one that I did figure out was that Emma was Mr. Barclay's daughter. It's like, well, obviously, right? And I'm like, wait, how does that work? I don't know, but it's fine.
Yeah,
Probably it.
like if you think about it too much, it's like it kind of just begins to fall apart. But like the reveal makes sense at the same time, and like the setup, you're like, okay, I can see that. And then you like if you analyze it, you're like, well, you're just inconsistent here.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the reveals were pretty well placed throughout.
Yes, I'll agree. Like like if I was reading this for the at the target age, just kind of reading straight through, like now I like analyze as I go, whereas back then I probably just read straight through. Probably would have been more enjoyable in that sense, unless like I probably wouldn't have because I would have been trying. It's like now I just want to tear books apart, you know.
So what was your favorite part?
Favorite part? I'm not sure. I guess probably with oh, characters' names are hard. What's the girl detective's name?
Penny?
Penny. Yeah. Um, like with the cat tickling your feet. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, because of the animal. I mean, gotta pick the scenes with the animals. Um, it's like, is it just because it's a black cat and it's dark that you can't tell? And then turns out to be a ghost too.
Yeah.
And they were kind of alluding to it, like she's been seeing this black cat since they arrived, which was cool. It was a good connecting point and kind of directing you to the big reveal that ghosts are real.
Yeah.
Good foreshadowing and setup for that. So yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
What's yours?
I don't know. I feel like my favorite part was when Penny went to go find her grandfather in the hedge maze. I feel
Oh,
like that was just like the most tense part of the book. And I was like actually very concerned during that part.
I can get that. Like, it's like because also reading this like from an adult perspective, it's like she could have easily thrown that in as a twist and it's like, by the way, we killed a detective in this book for children. And I
Yeah,
would have
it
been
got
like,
serious.
it's like, is she gonna do it? Because I almost kind of
Like
wish she
just
did, but
him
no.
having a head injury. I was like, in a book for kids? Like, ah,
It's like she could have just as easily just killed him off right there. I mean, and it
yeah.
honestly, if this was a young adult book or like an adult book, probably would have.
Yeah.
But all like instead, she just ties everything in this nicely neat little bow. It's like, oh, Barclay's not dead. In fact, really, only this bad person's dead. It turns out.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Right. And least favorite part?
Probably the final reveal of who the murderer is with what's her face. I'm just like, oh, traditional villain monologue and things. Probably my least favorite part. Just like, okay, you're just gonna divulge everything to these 11 and 12-year-olds? Okay. Real believable.
Yeah, no, I agree with that actually. I felt like it was kind of a surprise as to who it was just because there wasn't a lot of like clues pointing to anyone in particular.
Yeah. Like like the things that weren't about solving the crime were very well laid out, whereas the actual murder itself was not.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And yeah, the reveal was kind of like disappointing. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's her then.
It's just all da da da, da. And then oh, but I guess I have to tie this together too. Here's two paragraphs or a few pages of the murder part, and we'll move on. We're done.
Yep.
We're good.
Did you have a favorite character?
Penny. Yeah. Everyone else was kind of meh, and but Penny's like just this book nerd wants to be brave, wants to be a detective like her gramps. Makes sense for that age,
Yeah.
but also skeptical. But it's like I'm just intrigued, like just that curiosity. It's like maintaining. Like I relate to that a lot. Just like, but that's not going to stop me from investigating. It's like if it's a ghost, I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Penny was great.
Yeah.
Least favorite character.
JJ.
Why?
I mean, in terms of like main characters that you're focused on, JJ is just my least favorite because it's kind of all over the place. Um, like so much. Like when we're following JJ, it's just like, oh, I'm just here to ghost hunt. Oh, it's like, oh, Penny would be a great investigator for my team of ghost hunters. She's just gonna nag me though because she's a skeptic. Oh, but she really would be a great asset for ghost hunting. I don't want to be nagged because she's a skeptic. And I'm just like, I got sick of that explanation like 20 times. It's like, oh no, I'm just gonna solo this. It's like, okay, whatever. There's no real danger, I guess, technically. But just like, quit nagging on Penny. Just let her join you. It's like it'll be easier to prove it if you're together than to try to present her evidence too. It's like if your point is to prove ghosts are real, then you want to experience it together. I don't know.
That's fair.
Mostly because of that, yeah. I mean, I like Emma because she just wants friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess if we're just going off like the three main characters, the kids, I guess I would agree with that. I didn't really like dislike any of them. Least favorite in general would probably be like the cowboy, just because I found his character weird.
I can see that. But he also like there wasn't enough of him for me to make a true opinion on him too. It's like, oh, my boots got stolen. Okay, dude. I have the best lasso. I don't know what that means. I want to buy this ranch. I'm like, okay, buy your ranch.
Yeah. Right. So all of the characters had very shocking secrets.
Very shocking secrets.
Very shocking. Whose secret was your favorite?
So, oh man, that's a hard one. Because I didn't care for like any of the secrets, um, necessarily. And mostly because it's like from an adult perspective, it doesn't make sense. Um, it's like it's a very simplified secret. Um, I guess. Oh man,
Or like who was the funniest or the most interesting?
I guess the villains, the murderers. What's her name? Shoot.
It's gone. It's completely gone out of my mind.
Emma Fleming? No, no, not Emma. Sorry,
Fiona.
Fiona. Whatever. Yeah,
Fiona Fleming.
but also very inconsistent. But like, I like the theater aspect and also like how her character kind of proceeded. It's like just standard actress things, like over the top, a little bit here and there, and it's like I just want this funded. But it turns out that her secrets are much bigger than that, which also was an inconsistency in narration for her character. Kind of, I don't know. JJ's mom's was all right. It's like, oh, he's an investor. Okay, cool. Um, like I want to say the librarian's like one of my favorites for the most part, but also doesn't make sense for the story they're trying to tell. You know, because like I like the idea that she's trying to get this grant for like a slide and like a train at the library, but also I'm curious how is the entire library the library like no one else is funding this library, just this guy, really? Um, and also like she's perceived as a possible murder suspect because the funding got pulled from the library when Barclay is in fact intent on like saying no, the library is fully funded. Then why would you invite her as a possible murder suspect? Because she has no motive if that's the case. I don't know. I was confused.
There are a lot of plot holes when you start thinking about it too hard.
And I
Or
think
at
and
all.
that's what I do. That's what I was doing. Thought about way too hard.
I think my favorite secret was also one that Cameron and I were talking about, and it's the chef's. Just that he's
Oh,
not
yes.
actually a great cook and
Yes.
can only
Sorry.
do like kids' food.
I was forgetting about that one. That one's so good actually.
It's it was just so ridiculous.
Like he's French and and he's like but also like I don't think of burgers as just kids food. Pizza. And it's like those are things I love and eat like all the time.
Right?
Like
You could make me those things. Waffles for dinner, like I'm in. There's no problem with this.
it's like adults love those things too. And for a hotel that has like all these like features, it's like definitely a family hotel for the most part. It's like
Yeah.
it's like yeah, like having a chef that just focuses on these things makes sense because it's a family establishment more than an adult establishment, so you're not going there for fine dining necessarily. You want a simple menu. You don't want too many things on there. No, you're right. That touche. I forgot he was a guy too. I was mostly focusing on the people that were invited, I guess, for their secrets. But yeah, the chefs. I agree. Touche. I am adopting that answer. Thank you.
Thank you to Cameron.
Good job, guys.
All right. What did you think of the family relationships portrayed throughout the story? Specifically, we've got like JJ and his parents, especially his mom, Penny and her grandfather, and Mr. Barclay and Emma.
I will say, like, the most developed is definitely JJ and his mom. Um, and I'd say also probably maybe the most realistic. Just in terms of a very busy working parent and a relationship with a younger child. Um, and and then Penny and her grandpa doesn't like, I guess, I mean, those things do make sense, but it's kind of something you only really see in things like this, that the kid that goes away to stay with family. But also, why is it during the school year? It's like, it's not vacation time, guys. What are you doing, kid? So I was a little confused by that, but and also I do like JJ's dad. It's like kind of encouraging. I guess like his role in their family dynamics makes a lot of sense. Kind of like the peace broker. Kind of, it's like recognizing that they don't get enough time together. So like pushing, like, this is a great opportunity. I'm gonna get these. I'm gonna very much encourage her to agree to going on this weekend vacation thing for them.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah. I really love how they portray JJ and his parents. Like they're definitely not a perfect family, but do seem like super realistic, but still like loving and things. And
Very,
then,
very healthy family dynamic for sure. Like, I would say,
yeah,
it's like, yeah, we can't get everything right, but we're gonna make the effort to correct things when we can and just kind of move forward.
yeah. And I really like the journey that their family takes as well, because they kind of start like loving each other and like really trying to have a strong relationship, but maybe not like entirely understanding one another. And then at the end, um, I'll just read a quick quote because it made me so happy. It says his parents were interested in the paranormal now too, once they figured out how exciting and fun ghost hunting is. And I think that's just so cute. Like, did they really enjoy ghost hunting that much? Who knows? But they were interested in what their kid was interested in,
I think
and
ghost hunting would
that's
be the
fun.
ultimate family bonding experience. I'm just saying. Like, now I want to go on ghost hunting ventures when I have kids. But that's also a very hard family venture because you have to set bedtimes, and that's kind of opposed to ghost hunting.
It's complicated.
But yeah, like there at the end, I agree. Like, especially because like it seemed like early in the book because it's like we have book club, the dad and the kids and stuff, and it's like, and JJ doesn't like reading, um, very hammered that point away, in the book, uh, and kind of like the parents growing is like find other interests that you could do with him.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
And yeah, maybe Penny and her grandfather's like situation isn't as realistic as it could be, but I think the relationship between them is still really realistic. And
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's just more so like timing and family, the rest of the family dynamics that put them together at that time just didn't make sense to me.
yeah, yeah, I can agree with that. But they were just really cute together. It was cute.
Yeah. I like the grandpa so much. He's very encouraging to her. He's like, "Yeah, you got this. Look
Yeah,
at all the work you
exactly.
did. What is this?" I like how it's like he's like very adamant about not getting involved when they first show up, and she's like, "Ooh, I'm going to investigate," and he's like, "Good, then I don't have to," kind of situation too with them. Just like I did like that. It's like, so you're doing a better job than I probably would have been doing, so we'll take it.
Yeah. And I don't know, I think Mr. Barkley and Emma was actually like a really cute relationship as well. Like we don't get to see them interacting as a family, but just like hearing their story and how he like created all these children's attractions in the hotel for her is like just so cute.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, like we don't get to see it, but like as we learn the history of the mansion and everything, we get to kind of get the hindsight view. Tick, freaking tic tac toe elevator. Okay, you hardly press it that many times. So, thought 10 was a good. You had to press it 10 times.
What did you think of the narrator?
Very inconsistent. I've been kind of saying that. Because it's like they just it's not written to be an unreliable narrator, but it becomes it when you start pointing out the inconsistencies of how they're following it, because it's kind of written to be like, I'm going to foreshadow this and we'll explain it later. But then they explain it later and it's inconsistent with what they were setting it, like kind of how they were setting it up for the most part. Is the best way I can describe it. But I think with a kind of mystery like this, it's hard to set it up consistently, especially when you're doing something with like the supernatural aspect too. So I'm willing to give them a good benefit of the doubt. And also, kids aren't thinking like I am. So
Yeah. Yeah, it was very much a like a children's narrator. Like some parts the narrator was almost like aloof in their description of things, and then other times they're very certain that you are understanding exactly what they are trying to say, being like overly clear.
right, CEO or chief EMS or EMF detector or electric magnetic field detector or EMF.
Yep.
Like, okay. Which I mean, like that's definitely something that you have to do. Like I like I think that's something that's hard when you're a younger reader, is coming across words you don't know. So like having that kind of setup is nice for the target audience for sure.
Yeah. I feel like we've kind of talked about finding the world and the characters believable or not. Do you have anything else you want to say on that? Or
Um, I didn't realize hot tubs are supposed to be such a big deal to me as an adult.
they're a huge deal, Chris. All you want to do is go in a hot tub
Like,
at all
I didn't
times.
realize all it takes to sell me on something is supposed to be a hot tub until I read this book. It's like, oh man, maybe that's why I don't feel like an adult. I'm not hot tubbing enough.
That's what it is.
It's like, that explains so much of my life right now. Okay. It's like, I just don't take hot tubs nearly as seriously as I need to. Okay, good to know. Like, it's such a, like, it's like, that's what sold the mom? The hot tub? You like those? My favorite part is that the narrator does acknowledge it, or JJ does, which it'll come later, but I'm just going to throw it out there now. Hot tubs are like catnip to adults. Like, what? Yeah. It's also one of my favorite things about the book. So, nailed it. Figured that was a good place to throw in my thoughts on hot tubs.
I like it. Okay, so for being a very lighthearted, ridiculous children's novel, it does kind of touch on quite a few harder topics. What do you think of the way that some of those harder topics were dealt with? For example, the loss of loved ones, anxiety, and struggles with school, and possible dyslexia. They never said explicitly about JJ, but it kind of seemed like his dislike of reading was coming from something a bit more than just not
Dislike.
liking it.
I think, like, especially because of the target audience, that's very, like, I think it does it really well. It makes JJ, like, for people who probably do struggle with those specific subjects, and, like, you know, even without just coming out, because obviously I don't think it wants people to use JJ as a diagnosis tool kind of
Mm-hmm.
situation. She's, like, cautious of that. So, like, without giving him a diagnosis, saying, like, these are struggles, and also some of the shame from those struggles, like, I think it does really well, because that was his secret, was he's struggling, he wants to do his parents proud, so he's experiencing some shame in that, and kind of how to approach that, and also like dealing with, like, his mom showed the disappointment but also handled it in a very good way. It's like, well, now that we know, we can do something and move forward, like, and work on that with you. It's like, we can't help you if we don't know. And those, so, like, it definitely handled those really well. And on the loss of loved ones part, um, granted, she was a ghost. Um, that's something that made Emma a little more unbelievable, was because of what we do, because of the reveal, looking back at her character. She, I guess, did, this is where part of it, like, where the book kind of confuses me. Would Emma know that her dad wasn't the one that died? Or was that something that was
That
revealed to her there too? Because, like, the reveal that Barclay ends up being her dad, but he also wasn't the one that died. Like, it's like, she did know that he didn't die, like she wouldn't have had to experience that kind of grief. So her character makes sense. If she did think he actually died, even as a ghost, she wasn't experiencing much grief there, from what I saw. But Barclay's reaction makes sense, kind of being vulnerable and taken advantage of by a con artist.
Yeah.
Like, from that place of vulnerability makes sense to me.
Yeah. I think, yeah, in regards to Emma, like that was something that I was wondering about as well. Like, if you're a ghost, like, wouldn't you know? But I
Maybe
don't
it's just
know.
one
I
of those
can't.
things we don't get a full picture of, is how ghosts can actually operate here.
Yeah.
But like when we
Because
follow her character, it makes it feel like the staff is aware of her ghost presence too. I don't know.
I don't know. They did say that ghosts couldn't see each other.
Right.
So she wouldn't have known that way.
Like through the supernatural, but if she was aware of the
Yeah.
actual events that took place.
Yeah. I don't know. Because it did say also that she wasn't allowed in certain places because she hadn't been allowed there
When she was
when she
alive.
was alive. I don't know. I think you just have to suspend your belief enough for that part.
It's more so just from like a character analysis point that those questions really come to life, I guess.
Yeah. But I think in regards to loss of loved ones from the point of view of Mr. Barkley, I think it dealt with it in a really good way. Um, a good like age appropriate way again as well. Like it showed that he was sad and like missed his daughter and things. Um, but also that like I don't know, those things are okay to talk about and like don't have to be
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. I like the things that he did invest in, like ultimately. PB and JJ. It's like, oh, that's a restaurant for children. Okay, for sure. And he invests in it, becomes successful. Also, like investing in the library for and like the cool things that the librarian wants to do for children. It's like it really shows that he like. It's like I wish I could have done these things for my more for Emma when she was still here. Um, playing with those kind of regrets, but he did everything he could while she was too. Also, like obviously with the entire mansion, hotel place.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Do you have any favorite quotes?
Just the hot tubs are like catnip for adults.
That's a good one.
It's such a,
So true.
it's like this underlying theme throughout the book is just adults in hot tubs. Better be a good hot tub.
Apparently it wasn't. Oh, I don't know. My favorite quote is ghost hunting can be exciting or monumentally boring, depending on how the ghosts are feeling that day.
That was a good one too. This make me want to be a ghost hunter.
All right. Did you notice any biblical references or theological themes?
I'm very bad at that kind of analysis. Okay, Shanine.
It's okay. I didn't notice like a ton. Nothing like really jumped out at me. I mean, there's like don't murder as an obvious one.
Right.
Um,
Um, I think like it's what like for a book like this, it's also harder to point out because it does deal more heavily, like it's dealing with supernatural things that we're not supposed to talk about, but also putting those supernatural things in a positive light, which not necessarily antithetical to the Bible, but to Christians' ideas of those things, it'd be frowned upon for sure. We don't talk about the occult, okay?
I don't know. I think the other thing that kind of jumped out at me was just like what you were saying about Mr. Barkley and the things he was investing in. Um, I guess just yeah, like showing love to others and kind of a whatever you do to the least of these kind of deal. Like he's really just in it to make kids happy.
And he's back on track at the end.
Yep.
I wonder how much he pays their advisor though, or is this just cheap child labor?
It's a good
How well does
question.
he pay his advisors?
Maybe he pays them in cupcakes, not poisoned ones.
I think those parents need to have talks with their kids about what their labor is actually worth. It's like, do you know how much he's making for that hotel right now? And he, what, you get a dozen cupcakes a week?
It's true.
You evaluate that, especially CEO mom. She knows what's up.
Mm-hmm. And they're doing more than advising. They're leading ghost hunts and stuff too.
Yeah, they're
It's a lot
tour
of
guides
work.
essentially. Hopefully, they're comfortable walking backwards.
All right. Did anything else stand out to you?
I'm just looking at my notes. I don't know. No, not nothing that we haven't really talked about yet.
All right. Well, it's time for our final, very in depth question. Would you stay at the Barclay Hotel? And what attraction would you spend the most time at?
Yes, I would. Um, Obviously the hot tub. You know, uh, I'd probably end up like depending. I'd probably end up bowling a lot because it's what I know. Carousels don't really appeal to me. Um, but like in terms of the attractions, um, but depending on how popular it was, I'd definitely be doing a lot of ghost hunting. That'd be the attraction for me. But
I
bowling
like
while I'm
it.
waiting.
I would definitely also stay at the Barclay Hotel. And aside from the hot tub, um,
It's like we're adults now. That's the given. We have to go to the hot tub,
obviously, it's like
unfortunately.
catnip.
Yeah.
Definitely checking out the library.
Oh, that's
Um,
right. Forgot about that part.
yeah, and the hedge maze.
Yes.
Love a good
It's like
maze.
how long do I got? I do everything. Not gonna lie. except for the carousel. I have no.
Also that.
Does not
I
appeal to me.
said spend the most time at.
Yeah.
You
If I was
can
feeling
see everything.
social, I might just ride the elevator and play Tetris or play tic tac toe. Depends. Just because it's a good place to meet people. The elevator, awkward elevator meetings. But it'd be good icebreaker. It's like, did you guys know this? Look at this. I haven't won yet.
All right. Any final thoughts on Midnight at the Barclay Hotel?
Why was JJ's mom surprised that there was no cell service there? She's been there before. Just saying.
Right.
She's like freaking out about no cell service. She's like, you were just there Friday.
That's what I thought too.
It's like you had to get so far away before you could get on your conference call. Just one of those weird inconsistencies. Final thought.
Yeah, I noticed that one too. It's got to be pretty glaring for me to notice those kinds of things. So that was a bad one.
I think that was one of the more obvious ones.
This was not a bad book.
No.
Very enjoyable, light reading, light spooks.
Yep.
And if you're into that, I would recommend it.
Sometimes you need a break.
Yep.
But sometimes that break leads you because you're in analysis mode. You start picking it apart. You're like, what?
All right. Our next book club will be on November 18th. So not the last Thursday of the month because Americans have weird Thanksgiving. And
it's for those Canadian Americans that want to get an extra holiday in. That's why it's like it's not an international holiday, so.
And for November's book club, we will finally be reading Doctor Who: The Ruby's Curse by Alex Kingston for real this time. For real.
I'm most excited for December's book club, but
20 times.
Right? Well, we finally all have access. Looks like it's in stock. It's doable.
It's real. This is happening. Nobody panic. All right. Well, there's our book club. Midnight at the Barclay Hotel by Fleur Bradley. Pretty sure I forgot to say the author's name before that. But I'm saying it now, so it counts.
If we say it a few more times, we'll make up for it. Fleur Bradley. That's Fleur Bradley. Standard spelling. One more time for good measure. Fleur Bradley.
Yes. Okay. All right. We're covered now. All right. We are One Geek 411 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Come chat with us on our Discord server and let us know what you thought of Midnight at the Barclay Hotel. Check out our Redbubble store and email us at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Watch live on our Twitch and find the videos on our YouTube. Rate and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and check out our website at onegeek411.com. I'm Shanine. You can find me on Twitter at The Hoot and Howl or on Instagram at Hoot and Howl Tales, TALES.
And I'm not so foreign, wherever you can find me. That's NOTSO 4 EIGN.
Read a book.
Wash your hands. Please. It's gross. I love you. For Cameron. I don't know if anyone's in chat. It says there's 5 people here. I'm one of them. Who's out there? Is anybody out there?